Hi, welcome back to Berkeley News. I'm your host, Thomas Berkeley. And did you know that 1 in 25 plants are too hot? I just made that fact up. But we have a professional on the field right now to report how hot the sun is. And I got a question for you. If it's too hot, should we blow it up? Johnson, on to you.
Thank you, Tom. I'm in a very serious sunstorm, and it doesn't look like it's getting any better out here. I don't know when it's going to die out.
Johnson, why are you yelling? Calm down.
Why, Tom? That's because it's sunning. I'm in a sunstorm.
No, you don't gotta yell. Just quiet. Inside voices. Outside.
Well, that's actually very understandable, Tom. It seems like the sun is getting too hot where it's affecting plants and their productivity. This is definitely an issue, not because it's nice to look at flowers, but when it comes to crops. We could also get to the meat and potatoes of this issue, and that's defending your yard from zombies. Yes, we know with the lack of plants, it's very hard to do so. Back to you, Tom.
Can we fire that kid? Okay. We have an actual professional FaceTiming him right now. And Johnny Johns, can you tell us the issue with the sun being too hot and its effect towards plants and potential solutions for this issue?
Thank you, Thomas Berkeley, for having me here on the show. Now, I wouldn't consider myself to be a professional, but I definitely have a perspective on this issue, that being that plant productivity is being affected by the sun. And I feel like I should first mention that we have a surplus of food here in the United States, but that doesn't mean we shouldn't be thinking about our future and land management. Because with more productive plants, it's easier to save on money and easier to save on land, which is just a win-win for farmers and our ongoing population and demand. Now, what are some of the potential solutions or things I've heard? Building structures around the plants to provide shade. I don't really see that being an idealistic solution just because it'd be very expensive and it would kind of get in the way of tractors and vehicles that we use on the field. Now, the second solution was creating a sunscreen-based substance for the plants, but that also requires a bunch of money for researching, testing, and I don't want to be poisoning my customers. That's just adding on to all the other preservatives and all the extra stuff we add to plants. So the real solution comes down to moisture, water. We have mulch to maintain some of this moisture, but it's just not enough. We need more water. Now, where's the problem with getting enough water? It all comes back to the same issue, the sun, global warming. And what do I mean by this? Well, I'm sure none of us are in denial that global warming exists, and the worse it gets, the easier it is for forest fires to start. And so when a forest fire does start, we have to divide our water up for the forest fire and farms. And sometimes we don't get enough, so then that's when farmers start to experience droughts. And so this is not a problem that we need professionals to solve. Everyday people can solve this by simply changing their habits and recycling and just those small things in their life. They can create a humongous impact on this world. Now, it's not going to fix global warming, but it will slow it down, and it's going to allow us to live on this planet a little longer. You know, even as a farmer, I'm planting cover crops, and yes, I'm getting paid to do it, but I'm planting cover crops to reduce carbon, and that the small amount of plants that I have planted is still making a difference. If we could just do stuff like that, it would really help out the planet. Now, where professionals come into play is creating better and more efficient energy sources. And I'm just a simple farmer, but I really think we should invest a lot of our time and resources into geothermic energy because it is a very clean energy source, and it's the only issue with it is just getting started with it and finding an actual good source where we can do it. But again, I'm just a farmer. I won't get too much into this, into geothermic energy. And I'm sorry I got a little off topic with the pickles and really just this whole global warming issue. But you asked if plants are negatively being affected by the sun, and they are, and that's simply because of global warming. And we need to understand that we can't continue to live the way we're living without any consequences. Eventually it's going to catch up with us, and we're going to see a decline in our population, and that's when people are going to realize they need to change, which is the very unfortunate part. But my pig is on the roof right now, so I think I have to go get him down. Thank you, Thomas Berkeley, for having me here on the show, and I hope you have a wonderful night.
Well, I'm bored, so we're not blowing up the sun. And thank you, Johnny Johns, for being here. But moving on to our next story, are dolphins politically correct?